looking back to those who lived in fear. There was nothing I could do. There is nothing you said that could make me realize how much lucky I was. Just out of reach of the fire, was not aware of the nightmare. But when I stopped to see those eyes begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now to try to change them to sunshine, to be someone among others. I've got to try it. If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have the time to find. And if I wake tonight, I'm so tired tonight, I'm falling asleep when I'm home. When I'm there's no way to go, no one that can see through at the time of the light. I can see my life is crap, I have to see them too. I just live into my world, far from the pain, the fear. Just out of reach of desire, was not aware of the start of hell. But when I stop to see those eyes begging for help, begging for hope, just need to open my eyes now.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, good evening, race fans, and welcome tonight. Make sure I get this name right. New Symrna. Well, I said that right. Is that right?
New Symrna.
Symrna. Okay, so I knew I was on this.
Yes.
Symrna.
I misspell it all the time. Luckily, spell check helps me out with that.
Symrna. Okay, well, and the reason I don't really come to, matter of fact, very few. This might be one of only a couple times I've actually ever broadcasted a race at this track. Just not a lot of people who race the short track, but we've talked about that. But then again, these are the Tour Modifieds here tonight for the Crooked Line Racing Fire Kings Motorsports, and it's been exciting so far for the season. I mean, these guys run a lot of the great short tracks. We've been to Concord, Myrtle Beach, the Bull Ring, et cetera, and tonight the new Symrna. I'll get it right before it's over with. I know I'm gonna mess that up, folks, but this one ought to be another good one. I'm gonna go ahead and say, Tanner, I'm not familiar with this track at all, so I do not know what to expect here. I can already see it's got a pretty good banking to it, but then again, I have no clue what to expect on tonight.
So yes, you hit it on the head right there. It has really good banking. It feeds the car really well in the corners, and this is one of them tracks. It's a really abrasive surface, so it's hard on tires. And you can see just by looking at your screen right there right now, it takes rubber really good. So you're going to see this track starting to darken up. It's going to have some grip in it, but it's almost like a false sense of hope when these drivers dive off in that corner, because you see all that black, you think there's grip there, but it's really abrasive. Tires start to wear, Joe, and these boys are going to be slipping and sliding on the exit tonight if they're not careful.
Saw it in practice. I was watching a little bit of there, and I noticed the guys were sliding around a little bit. So you're right. I mean, it's probably going to be slick as it goes on. Looks to be, but just as normal with short tracks in general. It looks to be, a one groove style track, which I mean, a lot of the short tracks. Just gonna get that out of the way, which we'll say it again before the season's over. Is a lot of the short tracks are one groove style tracks. There's very few that tend to a multi groove, but. Hey, it ought to be some exciting races. I see, man, you ran down the pit road there and, pulled one of those drivers up here, get a word with him. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, so we actually got Christian Pittman up in the booth. But before I hit over to Christian, Joe, you will be excited to know that this is about the one track. There's about two tracks, actually, we'll go to this season that is multi-group tracks. And we're going to hit on that when we talk in interviews. But so actually the preferred line around this track is towards the middle. But you're going to see on fresh tires, these guys are going to be on the bottom. There are going to be guys up top. This track has a lot of room to race at. So there will be some side-by-side action. And I think tonight, if we get into some restarts, like at lap 50 competition caution, I think we're going to see the leader elect to take the high side tonight.
All right. Well, there you go. Well, let's see what the drivers have got to say about it.
Well, right here, we got Christian Pittman. He currently put it on the pole with a 17.131. Christian, this is Joe White and Tanner in the OSR Network booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
So, we brought Mr. Joe over. He does our broadcast on Monday nights and super lates, and I'm on the track then. And then up here on Tuesday nights, I'm up in the booth with him. So, I raced with you, Christian. We had a little bumping and banging last night to come to the finish at Martinsville. Coming in here tonight, you put it on the pole at New Symrna. How you liking your chance to come out here tonight?
I'm pretty excited for tonight's race. It's really going to be, to me, last time we raced here, I didn't think tires were a big deal, but they really were. About 50 laps in, you really are going to want to migrate up. Not the top, but if you look in the turns, there's kind of like a black where rubber's laid down, and we're going to run either middle or top of that, at least for most of the race once the tires get warmed up. At the start, you'll see us all kind of diamond in the corner and hitting the bottom off. But I figure 20, 30 laps, we'll probably move up top. But chances, I'm excited. I'm glad Thomas is in the back, so hopefully I can get out front and run from him all night. But I'm excited.
So I think you're going to have about 20-something cars take the grid here tonight, Pittman. You got you a win already this season. Now, I know you had to miss a race due to stuff out of your control, but you, as you know, you're offered 2 drop weeks. I'm currently showing you that you're P9th on the board, but you're not a whole lot of points behind the leader. Y'all, the top 10 in points are all pretty close. So, and when we came into the season, you were talking about having good points race. So I'm going to wish you luck here tonight, and maybe you can get the most points by claiming victory tonight, Pippin.
Yeah, I'd like to come back off my suspension and get a win. That'd be pretty exciting. But
Well, you
I
said
hope
it, not
you have a
me.
good time in the booth.
All righty, we're going to send you down. If you could, Pittman, let the drivers know that we're going to go ahead and advance the session in just a minute. We're going to go through what we got to go to, but I know Tony and Justin are not in our Discord, I do not believe. Oh, Tony is in our Discord. Never mind. Sorry. All right, Christian, we'll be up here and we'll be talking to you at the end, buddy. Good luck.
Thank y'all.
Or maybe we'll be talking to you at the end. I messed that up, Joe, but oh well.
Never know. Hey,
Right.
I mean, you
don't know how this stuff's going to go. It's short track
absolutely.
racing, crooked
Short
line,
track, yep.
crooked line tour modified.
That's it.
All right.
And last night, we could. I could have sit there all night and said, "All right, the top guys," but then, how that one ended was a wild one too. So again, like you said, these modifieds have been. It's been crazy the last couple of weeks.
Right. You're exactly right. And we actually got Tony Quadros. He's been kind of quiet this season, Joe. He normally he's somebody we don't talk about a lot, and that's a good thing. If you're not being talked about on the broadcast, that means you're not getting in trouble. Tony, this is Joe and Tony in the booth. You got a copy?
I do. Or it means you're not running up front, right?
Well, you've obviously ran up front because I told you earlier you're currently sitting 8th on the board, and you're a race short. So you've had some really good finishes this season thus far, Tony. So good job with that, and you're bringing it in P2 during qualifying here tonight with a 17.157. I'll basically ask you what I asked Pittman. How you liking your chances tonight going into New Smyrna?
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I mean, I always just try to finish the race, right? That's my priority number one, and try to stay as clean as possible. I think New Smyrna is one of my better tracks, so it should be a good run tonight.
A wise older gentleman once told me before, to finish first you have to finish. So, with that said, that's a really good outlook. Coming into the night, Tony, do you think, I asked this before we went live to some of the drivers, but I'll ask you now, put you on the spot. Do you think tires is going to be more valuable than track position tonight? We see it every week. These drivers are electing to keep that track position more times over than actually going down and getting their fresh rubber. How do you feel coming into the night at New Smyrna?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I did a 20-lap run in practice, and it seemed like the right rear does wear out pretty quick. So we'll see. We'll have to just take it as it comes. Maybe just do right sides. Maybe try to pit early. Who knows? Everyone has a different strategy, and I think the key is just doing something a little bit different than everybody else and hoping it works out for you.
Well, you're exactly right with that, Tony. And luckily for you, your pace, you're right on par with the fast guys tonight. So I know you're going to be battling it out with them. You're going to be right up in the mix. So me and Joe will be up here at the end, maybe talking to you. Good luck.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's tough to compete with Axel, but do the best I can.
Hey, like Christian said, he's starting in the back. He won last week. So Pittman said he's going to do his best to try to run away from him. So you just follow Pittman or get in front of Pittman, and you'll be doing good.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, Joe, I'm going to relay the message over to my race control admins, Joshua Sexton and Scotty Stevens, that we're ready to rock. I don't have anybody else in Discord to interview.
Sounds
so
good,
we can,
man.
So we can get the show on the road. But before we go anywhere, Joe, we got a birthday boy in the house.
We do.
We have a birthday boy in the house. Mr. Joshua Sexton, I know you'll watch this back.
Yeah.
Happy 57th birthday, buddy. Excuse, I'm sorry. Happy 67th birthday. My bad. Sorry, I messed up, Joe. Honest mistake. In all seriousness, Josh,
67.
thank you, Josh, for all your help. You turned 37 today. You're my right-hand man. You're my teammate on Five Kings Motorsports. We've been given a nickname by others as the Dynamic Duo because usually anywhere you see Josh on the track, you usually have me and vice versa. He's my right-hand man in here. So with all that, cheers to you, buddy. I don't have anything to drink besides a Monster Rehab. I'll say happy birthday.
There you go. And I tell you what, this always good, man. Hope you have many more to come, and hope you have a good night here tonight too. So, like you said, Joshua, appreciate it, man, and have a good birthday. We forgot to ask him, did he get any cake?
He probably didn't because, whenever we talked about it being his birthday, he was like, nah, it's just another day. But you can tell he likes it. He likes it being his birthday.
Yeah, come on
if
now.
If he didn't get no cake, then shame on him. He should
I'm
have bought him
47
one at
years
least.
old, man. I still like my birthday now. I mean, hey, my birthday.
Right, exactly. I don't know about you, Joe, but I have a birthday week. I don't have just a birthday day. I celebrate the week.
Oh, that okay. All right. Nothing wrong with that. Hey.
At
Maybe
least
he can pull off
that's
a good win tonight here, and a good, or at least a good finish out of it. And, have a good birthday celebration. But I don't know, Pittman and company up front, they're pretty quick.
They're looking really stout tonight. And you're looking at, I'm sitting there looking at these times. I noticed, Joe, with this track starting to get a little bit darker, the skies, we're getting a little bit later in the night. If you look from the practice times over to the qualifying times, these drivers are almost a tenth off. So that's telling me this track is slowing down a little bit. So for these guys that maybe wasn't able to turn them 17 O's in practice and qualifying, that might be good for them. It may fit their driving style more. So as this track starts to change, it starts to get a little bit cooler, I think it's going to be obstacles for these drivers to overcome tonight. It's not normally something we have. We normally have just a nighttime race. This is a transition race. Track's going to change, and we may see some movers and shakers up front.
Yeah, and the one thing that I've noticed too that we have really not, seen that you see a lot of on short tracks is guys that later on in the race kind of come through, the field better on long runs than on short runs. Now, obviously, we can contest to that of being, cautions kind of slow things down a little bit and whatnot. But normally, you see guys, especially on short tracks. Now, on a 1.5 mile or some big track, times and everybody's even. One thing that surprised me the most here is a lot of these guys are really even on the track. You don't really see one guy blowing through the field, coming on through up through there. Not like you normally would think on a short track, because usually short tracks, Tanner, are driving style tracks. Tires play a factor. If you overdrive the car, overdrive a turn, it's not like a consistent style. I mean, every track's consistent, but it's not really like a consistent style track like a 1.5 mile or a big track would be. It's just something I've noticed that these guys are just really dead even, which again contests to the, I guess the racecraft and how much these guys race around each other week in and week out. As we get set green flag, you already said it. Quattros and Pittman up front, they battling, but old Quattros has got it. Look at that outside groove though. Who's that up there? That's number 2.
That's Zach Murphy in the number 2. I'm telling you, that outside line, these drivers are going to have to migrate up, because Zach Murphy, what we're going to see here tonight, I think, Joe, is we're going to see a couple drivers. They're going to figure out the line. They're going to gain some spots. So it's up to the other drivers. They better hope they realize what's happening around them, and that's when you're going to start seeing drivers move up, because that bottom line is fast right now, but it won't be fast for long.
And you talked earlier about new tires. Obviously, you've got to be aggressive when you get in tracks like this that tend to be one groove or hard to pass style tracks. You've got to be aggressive on the start. Sometimes it leads to a little bit of bumping and grinding on the track, but hey, that's the way it is on short tracks. But you've got to be that way, because you've got to get everything you can early, because if not, you're going to get stuck into what it is right here. We know Murphy's fast. Problem is, there's just nowhere to go.
You're exactly right, and that's what it's our biggest theme every week whenever we come off these restarts. Get everything you possibly can get, because if you pass that one guy on restart, shoot, Joe, you might get 2 or 3 more. You never know. But when you get single filed out like this, it takes that driver in front of you to make a mistake or to bump and run, and that's risk. So if you can pass him on the restart when you're double filed up like that, you're going to be in a good position going forward.
Looks like Thomas Axiom again with another, going to have to come through the field. We saw that the other week, back there in 13th place spot right now with Willie Everham. And now you got Nicholas Casey back there. But, Axiom's going to have to come through that field, so it's going to be another hard uphill challenge on his end.
We've seen him do it before, and, I mean, we know he can do it, but it's going to be tough. He has I don't think he's been a back-to-back winner yet. He has won 3 races this season, but I don't think he's won back-to-back yet, Joe. I'm going to look real quick, and I will let you know for certain.
Yeah, he's definitely one that comes up through the field there. I mean, he's able to get it done. Got to be very patient when you start back there. You see him trying to work over, but you can already see, even as fast as he is, how much effort it takes just to pass one guy and how long it takes. It's not like I'm going to just get beside the guy and blow right by him. It takes a lap or two, if not more, to make and complete that pass. And it just tells you, we look at this. We get the lap times really tells us a lot. We talk about that. The leader last time just ran a 17:36. You go all the way back to the 17th place spot, and he ran a 17:75. So, what, a half second split in the field?
A half second difference right there.
That's just not a lot. And and I know, the one thing that time on a track can tell you, and that is where a guy can kind of get to the guy in front of him. For instance, Pittman and Quattro here. You see them battling for the lead. Quattro's ran a 17:52 to a 17:49. Even though Pittman might be faster, that 3 hundredths there is not going to be enough to get by him on the track. He's going to need at least probably a solid tenth to just go scooting on by him on the track. So that's just something we keep an eye on with time-wise, and folks there at home can too.
You're exactly right, and that's we talk about it all the time. Getting to that driver in front of you is a small task compared to actually getting by them. You gotta work. So I'm sitting here watching these top three. We talk about all the time too. These clusters, these top three, they're nose to tail right now. You can throw a blanket over these guys most of the time. And I see Zach Murphy. He's electing to go up a little bit higher. You know what? He may be a little bit slower right now, but I think he's saving his tires more in the long run, electing to do that.
They're like 1 and 2. He stays down low. 3 and 4. Look at this car. Kind of at last time going in 3 and 4 looked like he wanted
really
to shoot up the track. Yeah, he went in and it kind of diamond. We're under caution here.
Caution on the track. Caution on the track.
Nathan Wenzel. My bad.
Let's see what happened here.
A little bit of contact.
Thomas Axiom.
But then he just drove up, and we've seen that many a times. Cars drove up the track. Next thing you know, it's chaos.
Oh, Brandon Mettler got caught up in it, and then you got drivers with nowhere to go.
Sorensen got it. Yep. Powell. Mettler. Wow.
He's expired that motor too. That motor has puked itself, so he's going to have to use a fast repair. But tough break for Powell and Mettler right there with just ultimately nowhere to go.
Yeah, and that's another thing we talk about on short tracks is obviously tracks are narrow. Everything's going to close up real quick. Everything happens at a quick pace. Now, pit stops. What do we do here? Something we ain't talked about. Obviously, we know a lot of these guys, for the most part, can go the whole entire distance with fuel. But do they? Do they go the distance? Do they do tires? What's your call on that?
I think since we got the competition caution coming at lap 50, Joe, I'm holding off on anything until lap 50 because we only get one extra set of tires. And even now, come lap 50, I may not come in, Joe. It just depends on what the pace is like. Now, if you get somebody like Thomas Axiom, if he goes in to take tires, a driver like that, and I'm not trying to take away anything from anybody else, but he's won 3 races. That's going to force your hand almost. You want to be on equal playing field with him. You don't want to give him the advantage, So it's going to depend on what's going on around you. But I think I want the track position.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing you brought up last night about the super late models. You talked about track position, and we talked about I think it was Symrna last night. We questioned on the pit strategy he did. Ultimately he got up to 4th, but at the end of the day, that's kind of what we thought where he was going to plateau at is around 3rd or 4th place. So, and I know earlier in the race we talked, why would you give up that track position? Because tires there, totally different cars, obviously, but he was not that far off pace with those older set of tires. So that kind of brings to mind here, what do you do if you're sitting in that 3rd or 4th place spot? Yeah, you might not have the car to win the race, but do you want to give it up? Ultimately, at the end of the day, last night Symrna, it worked out. He was able to kind of get back to where he was before, so he really didn't lose or gain anything. But
it was risky.
It was risky to do it. He almost got caught up really bad in a wreck, and that's another thing coming through the field. You could get caught up in somebody's trouble.
Exactly. And that's so I was running 3rd last night, and I was watching that because I knew he was on fresh rubber. And our leader here tonight, Tony Quadros, has elected to take the high side. So we're already seeing that high side take effect here.
Race car's in. Here we go. Quadros up top, gets a good jump out on the field. Everybody gets going. pretty solid. Here comes Kilroy to the outside. He's trying to see if he can't get that thing rolled up there. As Murphy's down low, they'll go door to door for a moment, but they're going to single it out here as they come in a turn. No, here it goes. I'm going to tell you what, Murphy stuffed it in there, yeah.
I'm telling you, Zach Murphy, he's a driver. I love watching him. I love calling his races, and he'll tell you he goes 110% every lap, and I love that. I mean, he doesn't have the type of personality where he's just going to ride and click off laps, and I'm kind of the same way to a fault. Sometimes I abuse my tires and stuff like that, but Zach Murphy's really fast and he's always on kill, and I like that.
You saw it right there. He kind of got a good run in the inside of Kilroy. He got in the back end, lost just a little bit of momentum. Good heads-up job by Raymond behind him to get on the binder so it didn't run him over. You see Axiom has really stepped up. He's up to 6, so he's come through the field there. Good. I think that caution really helped him out. You got Ed Brown behind them. Frank Barb, he's in the mix there in the 8th place spot. Willie Evernham up in 9th, and around the top 10 we got Nicholas Casey. So it's a good little battle around about the 10th place spot.
I think Thomas Axiom had the broadcast up because we took at a restart right then, Joe, and I watched him dip down low and going into turn 1, and he got by 2 to 3 cars just in that one corner because he just sent it, and he was doing exactly what we say every week. You got to get everything you can on these restarts, and now look where he's at.
Yep, absolutely. Got him up to 6th place right now, and you just saw Casey right there kind of get knocked back. He's in the 10th place. Evernham takes over to 9th, so good little battle happening around this area, around about the 9th on back spot. 55, hang on to it.
Ooh, got on the apron just a little bit.
That's old Keith Mack. Well, I think he was able to keep straight. You know what was crazy last night? I think it was might not have been him, might have been something else I was thinking about. I had a car that went flying through the grass, caution came out, then another wreck, a guy actually spun in the middle of the track, and iRacing didn't throw a caution, and I'm sitting going,
yes. Yeah. So Discord was chirping last night because that driver was mad. It wasn't Keith Mack. I won't say who it was because they were really irate. I don't remember. But I mean, it's just sometimes iRacing makes but it's funky. Yeah. It's funky.
Hey, we got some drivers that didn't make the field here. Looks like Sexton, Mimic.
So Sexton and Stevens are my race control tonight. But Kyle, Dean, Mimic, I'm not sure where they're at.
Okay. Right now,
Pittman's actually took the lead up front, Joe.
I know. Let's go back up here and see. You got Quattros has moved on the back, and actually, let's go back. Let's go back on the replay and see the pass for the lead. You're watching right here. That's Pittman in the 8 machine. He's behind Quattro, so let's see if maybe Quattro's made a mistake. Because you can see he's got a pretty good lead on him. So I'm gonna have to say he had to either make a mistake out of the turn or something had to give here. As we're watching this replay, his pass for the lead goes back in the back. Oh yeah, just spun it out of the turn. One bad mental mistakes is what I call them.
We got a wreck on the front stretch. Caution is out. Well, yeah.
So Willie Evernham.
What we're seeing, that apron can hurt you tonight. Mm-hmm. We just saw it with Tony. We saw it with Keith Mack, and now let's see what happened with old Willie Evernham in that 9 machine.
It's just basically just guys getting accordioned up a little bit. Yep. You know, just one of them racing deals where just can't get woed up, and unfortunately he's got a meat in the middle of a sandwich there.
That was a perfect way to explain it. That was funny. I had to mute my mic, I think. I started laughing. That was a great analogy right there. Good job.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just one of them things when you're kind of bunched up there. There's nothing you can do as a driver from behind, and you know, no fault on a lot of those other guys. Sometimes that happens. The guy in front of you just hits the binders. You can't get on him fast enough. You hit him. Guy behind it tees off. But if you talk about Quadros right here, you saw that pass that Pittman was able to make, and earlier you mentioned that that's about the only way because Quadros had a good lead. Mental mistake, you know, and that's the first time I've ever brought this up in the series here, because most of the time when I say mental mistakes, 90 to 95% of the mental mistakes made in racing is pit road mistakes. Getting in and out of your box. Obviously in real racing, it's, you know, the pit crew or something like that. Most of the time, when I refer to it, it's getting in and on pit road, in and out of your pit box as a mental mistake. I see it a lot in racing because races can be won and lost on pit road. Here, obviously, getting in and out of the turns, you know, and we saw right there with Quattro, he just one little lapse and hitting the turn and hitting that mark wrong cost him the lead.
And you're exactly right. we don't know what happened. We just know that something forced him to. He kind of clipped that apron, missed his mark, like you said, and before you knew it, instead of being top dog, he's chasing top dog. And that's how quick it happens on these short tracks or anywhere, really. You gotta. Racing is. I don't know what camp you're in, if you think it's a sport or not. I think it is a sport. But it's not your stick and ball sport. It's a lot. It is a lot mental in the car. So Quattro's is leading right then. He has a great lead, and then Pittman starts getting a little bit closer. So maybe Quattro's looked in his mirror, anything, and then clip that apron. And next thing you know, he's getting a little loose, lost the momentum because, we see it week by week. These cars are momentum cars, and that's you step out a little bit sideways, you're losing time to the track right there.
And you brought that up about the sport thing. And a lot of guys have talked about race car drivers not being athletes and stuff. And I want to tell you, yes, it takes a mental factor, especially when you're running a car. Any car that runs over 100 mile an hour, let's say 100 on up, that's fast speed. That's speed enough to kill a person, okay? You've got to be on point. You lose concentration one time and let that car get out from under you, you could hurt somebody. But yet, these guys sometimes are in extreme heat and losing a lot of, body fluid, stuff like that. And to be able to wheel some of these cars around lap after lap after lap, I'm going to tell you, folks, if you do not think it is not harsh, go get in one and try it, because it definitely is. As we go back green, you see Quattro's right there, but he's got his hands full with Murphy on the outside. They're closing in on the leader.
So Pittman got a good start right there, but didn't get a great entry and exit to turn one. So that allowed Quattro's and Zach Murphy in that two machine to kind of close the gap in on him. And I'm seeing Zach Murphy here. He's really battling, but don't look now. That pink number 13, he is putting his nose up in the party.
Love it right now. You got Murphy on the outside, Kilroy right behind him, Thomas Axiom, unfortunately Nicholas Casey back in the back, wrecking. Everybody gets single file, but well, they were doubled up for a moment there, trying to get their positions that they need. Axiom falls to 5th, Raymond up to 6th right now, but in the meantime, Pittman's the man out front leading this one.
He is, and he wants to see them drivers behind him start to battle a little bit. That's going to let him be comfortable. As we got about 10 or so laps for the competition caution at lap 50. If a caution was to fall between now and lap 50, that will be the comp.
Well, there
and
you go.
Right there. That's
you
the
jinxed
comp.
it. Brandon Mettler. Go back here on the replay, see what happened. Old Brandon's in that 15 machine right there. See if he had a little help or if he got down on the apron. Yep, same thing. Happened to Quattro's. Got the apron and slid around. I kind of see what guys are trying to do there. They're using that apron to try to see if they can't slingshot the car off, almost like what it used to be at Atlanta Motor Speedway and the Cup cars. Those guys, they kind of ride the apron, put those tires right there on as far down as they can, and what it does is it kind of slings the car off the turn, so to speak, and that's what it looks like they're trying to do here. I could be wrong, but that's kind of what it looks like they're trying to do. And well, that turn down there says not today.
So when I'm out here trying to qualify for this track or anything like that, Joe, if I'm out here hot lapping, trying to turn fast lap times, you run the bottom to try to be fast on fresh tires. But when you do that, you kind of clip the apron a little bit. You're going to hang your left sides over that apron just a little bit. But it's Russian roulette like we've done saw.
Yeah, it is.
Like you said, it either slingshots you off, you get a great launch off, or you're turning that wheel right because you're sideways.
And in Atlanta, like I just used before, it's the same way. If you go too far in it, obviously it can spin the car out and go around, so it's a fine line. Problem is with that track, you're doing probably about 170, 180 mile an hour. You're playing a really huge game. I think they're running, 120 here maybe? I don't know what the speed is. I don't know.
I'll let you know.
Good question.
For certain, I'm going to guess about 120. I think you're probably close to that. But
it could be more. I'm not, just on that front stretch there, it's pretty long. I know these cars got a lot of power to them, but in that turn, it's kind of a narrow style turn. I'm going to say probably 120 in that turn. Kind of close to what a Bristol would be. As we go back green, we got Pittman, Quattro's up front, so obviously we didn't do the competition caution between there. We're gonna get it.
race control came over and said that was comp caution, but nobody elected to come in and pit.
Okay.
I was shocked by
See
that.
Wow.
But I didn't see anybody go down pit road right then.
Well, right now these guys look really racy up front of them. You can see it right here with Kilroy Murphy. Murphy's sitting right there behind him. And the 41, that's Kilroy. Got up in the wall a little bit. We saw that a couple weeks ago. That was the thing. And there you go, beating and banging. That's what we want to see, short track racing.
And Tony's not going to be
Oh, Quattros paid the price.
He ran out of room trying to save the car with Dalton on his outside, just nowhere to go.
Let's go back on the replay and watch. That's just some hard racing up front. You saw it right there. Guys got in the back of them. You see Kilroy there, and I think it's a number 2 machine. Down low. Oh, you got one guy up in the wall. And then here down at the bottom, they kind of got locked up on the tires. And then got unlocked up. They went 3 wide, and he was just out of control. Next thing you know, crossed over, and boom. Wow. That was
tough for Tony.
We
talked to him before the race. We talked to him. He said he just wanted to finish. Is all he wanted, and that's tough right then, because once he got hit by the 2 car, he, like you said, he was just out of control.
Yep.
If the 41 wasn't there, he maybe could have saved it. But they're racing, so I mean, it's
that's a perfect example of these cars. You know, we talk about these because now you can see the roll bars there on them, so you can get side by side, do a little bit of side paint banging or whatever you want to call it, door banging. You can do a little bit, but you got to, at the end of the day, you have to really understand these are still open wheel style cars. And you saw right there, they kind of got locked up on the tire. And if you get locked up on the tire, it's almost like what we've seen when they walk the wall. It's really easy for these cars just kind of, with those tires, get caught, and next thing you know, you're in trouble.
You're absolutely right. And I actually saw some takers down pit road. Not very many, though. I think
Keith
Tony
Mack,
Quattros, Keith Mack, and
Justin,
Brandon Mettler.
Sorensen, he pitted. Yeah, not a lot. Still, the top 4 guys have elected not to pit. You've got Raymond Brown, Barb out there that have not pitted. Evernham's not pitted yet. So your top 4 main guys have yet to pit, and it kind of gives you an idea of, I mean, if you're up front and you're running this good, why not? I mean, why go in and chance it? Like you said, why go back there and, get caught up in the back of the pack? Now, we'll obviously see what Quattros is able to do as back on pit road again. But we'll obviously be able to see what Quattro is able to do on a newer set of tires and see if he can come through that field.
You're exactly right. We got 2 Five King Motorsports teammates lined up on that front row, Joe. And Christian Pittman just elected to take the top. That's going to let Thomas Axiom fire off 3rd on the inside line.
And Axiom has been the one to look at. He's came through the field here tonight. Some of these cautions have just played in his hands. This is where he wants to be, 3rd. Battling. Don't count out Murphy right there along with it, but still got Howard Raymond right behind them. Been all Pittman. He gets control of the field with Kilroy. Kilroy's been up there trying to hammer it down a little bit, but he's going to have his hands full, I think, with Axiom and Murphy behind him.
Oh, yeah. I think this top 5 right here, it's getting ready to be dicey. I would not blink right here, fellas, because even though it's lap 50, I think the belts are going to get tightened now as these drivers are about to fire off when that pace car makes that hard left-hand turn.
And it does. Pace car drops off. Here we go. Pittman and company. Pittman gets a good jump out front. You see Axiom, they understand they've got to get what they can before everybody gets single file. That's why the hurry is up on the top side. You see Kilroy and Murphy going to go side by side. 41 down low. Kilroy's there with him. Yellow's out.
Cautions breed cautions.
It does. I think it's John Sorensen in the back here. Let's go back and watch. If it's not him, it says Brandon Mettler also involved. But we'll go back here and watch. Yep, looks like a car in front. And Sorensen, that actually might be Mettler. Yep, Mettler was the one. Let's go back and see what happened to Mettler then. Mettler's in that blue machine right there. And actually, it was another car in front. Mettler just, who is that?
Frank Barber's going around. I'm not sure who that white and black car is. Frank Barber went around, but I'm not sure the other car is that went around with him.
We'll go back and watch it one more time here and see. Either it happened on the start here. Maybe a checkup on the start. We just didn't catch it.
Well, Thomas bumps Dalton right here. He goes a little bit early. Right there, they hit, but that guy blinked out right there, so that could have checked him up.
Good have. You see the 29 right there?
Yeah.
And, oh, he just got hit by the car inside.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, just a little bit of the tap. No harm, no foul there, but just a little tap turning
Joe?
around. Wow.
I think the other car behind Frank, I think he got tapped too. I don't think that wreck was because of Frank getting turned. I think that was inevitable for both guys.
Yeah, just one of them, like we said,
hard
short
racing.
track.
Yep, hard racing.
Just nowhere to go. All right, but it's all Pittman. And you know, sometimes leaders love the caution, sometimes they don't. Really not seen Pittman get a huge lead out front. He's gotten a little bit, but I know he gets to control the field. So right now, he's probably loving it.
I wanted to pull him up for an interview, but I'm not going to distract him because I know we're going green pretty quick.
Lights are still on the pace car.
Let's see if they shut it off. I think they're going to. So, iRacing has this command in for race control. They can shorten the caution laps, and that's what they have. They've only let the caution laps be 2 laps. But it's actually, it turns out being 3 laps. So I think the lights should go off right here.
Okay.
So it's quick cautions, but I'm not liking it. I wish I could talk to race control because I think that's why we're not seeing people pit. I think because they don't have time to actually get down pit road, come back out, and get shuffled back in the line. Because when they come out of pit road, it's one to green then. You understand? Like, see what I'm saying? By the time pits open up for them. So I'm not.
Makes for interesting on the track. I mean, it does that.
But I have a feeling I'm gonna have some messages from drivers saying they don't like that. But we'll be there if it happens. Christian Pittman taking the high side on this restart right here with Zach Murphy on the inside.
Pace car's in, green flag. See Pittman gets that good jump again, but here comes Axiom to the outside. He's gonna see if he can clear down low. He's gonna have to be able to clear Murphy there out of the turn. Looks like he's gonna be able to. Murphy's got it behind him. It's Howard Kilroy though. Those 2 guys are battling for the 4th and 5th place spot.
You're exactly right. And I was surprised to see Murphy not battle a little bit harder right there and going into 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 because, man, he drove it in deep, and he drove it in deep again. Gave Thomas Axiom a little bit of a shove right then.
Yeah, Murphy sitting in that 3rd place spot. You saw Howard able to take over the 4th place. Kilroy falls back to the 5th. That puts him in the clutches back there with Raymond. But Raymond, at the meantime, though, let's see if Axiom can get everything done with Pittman. Nobody's been able to do anything all night long, but Thomas has been the main man coming through the field.
He really has. He started in the back of the pack. He started back there because he won last week. He's won 3 races, but he's never been fortunate enough to win back-to-back. So he's trying to do something that he hasn't done here tonight. But Zach Murphy, he hasn't won this time so far in this season. Christian Pittman, he's won once. They're going to try to battle. They're not going to let him have it easily, that's for sure.
Absolutely not. Not letting him get away, but you also see Murphy right there not letting Axiom have any breathing room, making sure he's on point lap after lap and looking in that rearview mirror. And that's one thing that can upset a driver. Axiom still holds on to 2nd. You got Kilroy there in 5th, along with Howard hanging on to 4th. Those 2 guys are looking smooth. You got Raymond back here, Willie Evernham up to 7th, Ed Brown in at 8th, Nicholas Casey there in 9th, and Keith Mack, he's been able to climb back up into the 10th place spot.
The storyline to watch is Zach Murphy and Thomas Axiom. So they've had some past issues, some pretty heated debates, we'll call it. And then right then, Axiom just came over. Yeah, debates. Axiom just came over, I reckon, chat and said, Zach, easy, back up your corners, because he had bumped him a few times. You see him, he's driving right up right to his bumper.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, he's back there making sure that Axiom is hitting all his marks. And, you know, you talk about if he's bumped him a couple times, as long as he's not wrecking him, if I'm Murphy, 1, I'm going to ignore what he says. But 2, if I'm not wrecking you and I'm just letting you know I'm back there, that's basically what I'm doing. Is I'm going to let you know that, hey,
get him again.
It's a psychic thing going on the track.
You said it a while ago. Racing is mental, and if Axiom has said that, now I love Thomas Axiom. He is a class act, but you can tell he was getting flustered. You know,
And that can make him make a mistake on the track.
Exactly. You're living in his head rent free if he's talking to you like that. So if I'm Zach Murphy, I'm taking that gasoline, Bubba, and I'm pouring it on. I'm adding fuel to the fire. I'm gonna try to get as close as I can, because that will eventually, any human being is going to make a mistake. But Thomas Axum, he's a veteran, so mistakes come few and far between with Thomas Axum. So
and there you go, and that's what Murphy understands. He knows he's racing with one of the best here, and that Axum doesn't make a lot of mistakes. So if he gets him to make one, there you go. He's going to have to capitalize on it. You see him right there. He wasn't quite close enough to Axiom, because Axiom did overdrive that turn for a moment. He wasn't close enough to be able to ram it through the front door. Looks like Axiom's getting a better jump off the turns than Murphy is and getting around him. So you see it right there again. Axiom goes up high, but Pittman is the man holding off Thomas for the moment.
With Thomas and that 13 machine coming from the back of the pack, it makes me wonder if maybe he's asked a little bit more out of his tires. Now, he's still got really good race pace here. He's able to hang right there with Pittman, and he may be faster than Pittman, but we talked about it earlier. Passing that guy in front of you is a lot harder than just getting there.
Absolutely. You see Howard back here too has moved in up on this pack at the front along with Kilroy. Those two guys they already see these cars getting a little bit squirrely coming out of the turn, and they're kind of diamonding into the turn. It's they kind of go in low, let that car kind of shoot up the track just to the middle, and then kind of bring it back down as they come out. So, that's kind of how you have to drive him. You see right there, Axiom fighting with it a little bit coming out of the turn.
He's trying to set him up on exit, trying to look high on the entry, but then diamond it off, like you said, trying to get that straight line launch off the corner. But Pittman's right now, he's just able to carry more speed on exit, or enough speed on exit.
And we talk about, Axiom making a mistake. Watch Pittman. I mean, Pittman up there too. You see Axiom doing the same thing that Murphy was doing. Get up there, harass the guy, make him look in those, window drive or mirror drive, so to speak. And that way he's going to make a mistake, miss one of his entries into the turn, and he'll be able to just, climb right back over him. And that's what Axiom's hoping that Pittman can do, because he's got that preferred line. In the meantime, Howard's going to lose the position to Kilroy. Kilroy's going to make a good, clean pass for the fourth place spot.
I think the way it sits right now, if anybody within the top 5 makes a mistake, they're going to lose their spot, because these guys, I mean, they were really close to each other. Now the top 2, top 3s kind of broke away a little bit, but that was just because Howard and Dalton were figuring out their...
And there's a mistake that Pittman made. The car got a little sideways. Yep. And see, you just said it. He's going to almost lose probably 2 positions here. If Murphy could have just got that run off the turn, just wasn't quite close enough. If he would have been a little bit closer, he probably would have closed that gap and made that move. But that puts Thomas Axiom up front, and that's pretty much a textbook of what we were talking all race long and how you had to do it. Guy in front of you just slips just a little bit. You've got to be right there at the right place, right time to capitalize on it.
And he was able to. I mean, he was able to. He got right there. He was pressuring Pittman the whole time. And with him being that close, all it took, like we said, that one mistake, and he was able to look underneath him and get that drive off.
Just Kilroy right there, and he drove that thing in hard, and Howard's going to be able to get in there and benefit from this one and take over that fourth place spot as Kilroy just overdrove that turn. That was a good save on his end.
That was a really good save, and because that could have piled up some cars right there.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
tells you right now, Pittman is Pittman's loose. What happened? Nah, come on now. He went around. Ouch. Let's go back on the replay here and see. We saw it live a little bit. Let's see what happened to him. If it'll show us before. Looks all right there, but then. Ooh. I just lost it. And then I don't know who that was down at the bottom.
Can you replay that one more time? Sorry, I was sending you a message right then. Let me see that one more time.
I'll go back one more time. You see him out front. There's Pittman. And we're going to see how he lost. Got into the wall. That's how he lost his position before. All right. So he's okay here. Gets it back under control. He's driving. And then all of a sudden, it just turns. I don't know.
I don't know about that one.
That's crazy. Hey, I'll let race control handle that one. But
Yeah, we'll let
hey,
them discuss that one.
he's on pit road. That sent a lot of guys on pit road, except for the top 3. Axiom, Murphy, Evernham has yet to want to come in to pit. Everybody else, let's see here, Wenzel, Mettler, Pittman, Powell, everybody looks like they took tires because they're in the 24 range. So this will be interesting. What do you think about this call here?
I like it. I really do like it. So we got about.
What about Axiom and them? Do you like them staying out?
It's hard to say because they have been the class of the field. These top 5 guys have been fast all night, but I think these fresh tires are going to have a really big advantage here.
If they can get the advantage early, I'm up for it. If we talked about it last night, and this was a perfect example that happened last night. The top 6 or 7 guys didn't pit, and I know the rest of the field did. That leader at the time definitely was okay because he had about 5 or 6 cars behind him that the guys on new tires had to get through. And I mentioned it before, if it was 10 or 5 to go, that's the perfect scenario you want, because one, usually the guy back in 7th, 8th, by the time he gets through the field or battle with those guys, unless he gets, lucky on a restart or so forth, by the time he gets up there, time's just going to run out on him. Here, with only 3 cars, maybe 4 cars, still could be okay for Thomas. If he can get a good jump out front of the field, those guys are still going to have to battle through the field or battle through several of those cars, like Kilroy, for instance, sitting back in 8th spot. Yeah, he might be on 4 tires, but he's going to have a lot of cars to get through to get up front. If he gets lucky and gets past them, quick, there you go. But if not, if he gets caught up last night, like what happened, let's say to Zimmerman. Zimmerman last night had a quick car. There's nothing you can do when you got guys in front of you battling.
You're exactly right. Right here's your chance. You got to get as many spots as you can right here. Pick them off in bunches. As you see, Thomas Atkins get a good restart. I seen something I haven't seen all night. Zach Murphy actually lit up his rear tires right then. He spun the tires on a restart. You don't see that very often in these cars.
Well, you saw right there, Kilroy went to the high side, almost made it 3 wide, but he thought better of it, because even with good tires, you don't want to do that. Could still cause a huge wreck, and that's one thing you don't want to do, is wreck your car. And then it almost got out from under him. Wow, right, he is driving that thing still back in 7th place spot. Got to be patient, even if you're sitting there faster. That's a good call right there. He ran up on the back end there of Howard. Very patient, turning into turns. Meanwhile, Axiom got a good jump, like you said, with Murphy in 2nd. You got Evernham sitting in 3rd. Casey up there at the 4th place spot. So really it's hot and heavy back here, with Quattro's back in the mix at 8th place.
With a few of our drivers electing to pit, that opened the door for guys like Willie Evernham. He got in an accident earlier, probably had to use his fast spray, I had to guess, but now currently running 3rd and looking pretty good.
Yeah, that is. And you got the Howard right there, almost ran up on the back end of Powell. You see Kilroy trying to hang on to that thing, as you got Quattros right behind him. So a cluster of machines here. Again, Howard is on newer set of tires. Powell had a 13-second, so he's not on probably new tires. But still, you can just see how hard it is to pass at this place.
You're exactly right. So in the next 20 or so laps, we're going to really know, is track position more valuable than fresh rubber? Right
what
now,
I'm seeing right now, Tanner, I'm going to tell you, I really think track position is probably is king right now.
I think so. I think so.
Unless something drastic happens here soon, I think you can see Axiom is out front. I mean, he only has about a two-second gap lead, which can be closed in quite quick. But the problem is, like I said, Kilroy's got to get through this traffic. Exactly. Is he going to use up his tires getting through this traffic?
And that's what. So when we have our team practice sessions, that's the kind of stuff we talk about. If you're going to pit off cycle from everybody else, and you're going to have fresh rubber, don't kill your stuff trying to get up there back where you was.
Yeah.
Just be patient, because if you go out there and abuse your tires, well, when you do get back up toward the front, then your tires are killed. You ain't got nothing for them.
Oh, caution out here.
You get yourself caught up in incidents.
Yep, Frank Barb in the back here. Let's see what happened. Him and Brandon, a little contact there. He's up top. Got a feeling they have to walk him into play, and then next thing you know, that 44 nowhere to go. Locked on to him in the back, spun it around to the wall. But
that's one thing I don't like about these tour mods. They don't do that in real life. They don't lock like that. These cars, they're like oversized go-karts in real life. They have all them roll bars for a reason, because they beat and bang on each other. But on here, we've saw it twice tonight where cars just get locked up. Basically.
We've seen it in other tracks too. This season, the guys just get up on that wall, and I'm with you. I don't really think I've ever seen that. And I mean, even in an Indy car, as fast as they run, let's say at Indianapolis, even when they get up into they scrape a wall, you don't see them climbing the wall. Usually they'll just ricochet right off of it. Unless they slam into the wall, then it's going to come apart. Right. But I'm just saying, if they bump the wall, you kind of just ricochet right off of it. It don't glue onto it and step them up. But now, you're right about what you said. A go-kart wheel, though, and that's the crazy part, because it is open wheel also, but a go-kart wheel almost kind of just ride up the wall. So I don't know what the major differences is. Maybe weight, or I don't know. That is strange. Physics, something I don't know a lot about.
It's physics. It's over my pay grade. I know about gravity, and that's about it. Yeah, that's all I can really tell you about.
We go back here to Kilroy, and the one thing that we talked about, we were talking about being patient, don't use those tires up. If you're coming to me personally on here, just if you're coming to the field, one thing you want to try to get what you can on these restarts if you can, but two, wait till these guys get single filed out before you get up there and try to battle. That way, pick them off one by one, because you got newer tires. You should be faster than they are. You should be able to make the pass on them, get up underneath them, and hold that car. But when you get up there and you see guys in front of you, and Tanner, I don't know if you're a driver, you should know this, but when you see guys in front of you battling, and that tendency is like, man, I'm faster than them, I got to get around them and let them battle behind me. Let them kind of sort it out first, instead of you getting up there trying to force the issue 3 wide, tear your tires up, maybe end up tearing your car up. We see guys like that. That's a tough thing as a racer. To ask a race car driver to be patient, I think that's one of the toughest things to ask.
Well, because when you're in that car, you see those two guys battling, you're faster than them, you're like, hey, in my head, I can pass both these guys.
Yep.
You might be able to, but in reality, you're putting yourself in the biggest of hornet's nests.
Yep, you're right. Here we go, stacking them back up. Pace lights off here tonight. Five Kings Motorsports Crooked Line Racing Tour Modifieds. Appreciate everybody tuning in here. We're at the new Symrna. I was about to say Symrna, but Symrna. Thank you for that.
Axiom chose to take the bottom, Joe, and got a good jump. Looks in it all night. Leaders, no matter if they're high, low, in the middle, it don't matter. They're getting good jumps. But a big wreck going on behind him.
Yeah, Quattro's involved in it too. Let's go back on the replay here and see.
That wall reached out and grabbed somebody, but we will find out for sure with this OSR replay.
Oh, looks like Quattro's got a back of the 86. They just went around, and Frank Barb was involved. He's way down on the bottom, but yeah, just looks like it's just some racing contact between the top two up there. Unfortunately, Quattro's just kind of ran it into the turn there a little bit hard, and hey, short track racing. I know he's probably not happy with himself.
Absolutely not, but you just said it right then. The three most important words of tonight: short track racing. It's going to happen.
Yep.
It's going to happen.
Now, on that restart, too, we saw Kilroy. He got the start there, but the two guys in front of him, Howard Abraham, started battling, and it was a perfect example of what we were talking about before. That those guys kind of sorted out a little bit. I mean, I understand you got Pittman back there breathing down your back deck lid, but sometimes you've got to be. We got to go back to that patience, and in racing, I've always, when I raced, you race the other drivers, but you can't control what they do on the track.
Right, race the track more than anything.
Yeah, race your track, race your surroundings, and it takes us back to some guys race different than others on the track. Some are more aggressive than others, but you really just you to me personally, you don't want to get really wrapped up in, oh man, this guy's coming and that guy's coming. I really got to push the issue here. Okay, great. Let's say Pittman gets around you. All right, concentrating on See if he can get around those two guys in front and follow him to the front, if you have to or something.
You're exactly right.
There's all kinds of scenarios that can play out in racing.
That's what makes racing fun because, anything and everything can and will happen.
It does. We're getting set here. Go back green. It's been a good one here. New Symrna. Tonight, short tracking it around this place with the Crooked Line Racing League. Tour modifieds here. And folks, if you want kind of a driver's viewpoint, so to speak, in driving, go check out Five Kings Motorsports over on Twitch. I will say that viewer discretion advised. It's not going to be maybe it's clean. There might be some few choice words over there. It's only here on the broadcast side here. So.
Whoa.
What's that?
Zach Murphy just blinked for a second, went down and drilled the 5 car under caution. Oh, had a wheel malfunction. He just came over and said, my wheel straight locked up to the left, but he's good now. Okay. That was
good
weird.
Deal. Green flag flies. Axiom gets a good jump out here. You see Kilroy behind him there. He's going to try to follow in that 5 machine down low where he's got the tires to get that third place over Willie Everham on the outside. In the meantime, here comes the 5 of Howard. Boy, he powers it up to there. Oh, he gets locked up with a second place car, but we got a big wreck in the back. Wow, let's go back here because that one actually got Kilroy. We can't sort this one out a little bit. Up front, you saw Howard. Him and Murphy got locked together. Coming out of the turn, you see Kilroy down low. Him and I think that's Willie Evernham was up top. You see Pittman, and he just caught that apron. And Pittman and Evernham nowhere to go. Wow. So there that apron stepped out and bit him again. And I know Pittman's not going, or Kilroy's not going to be happy over that one.
He actually, as soon as it happened, Joe, he said, "That's on me, Racing Trail. I'll go ahead and take the ball."
Well, and in the back of his mind, when I say not happy, he's probably not happy in the back of his mind, going, "Man, that's just not like me making a mistake." And that's one of them racing mistakes. He had Pittman there, he had Evernham on the outside. The problem is, it did catch Pittman. That Pittman might be okay damage-wise. But
I'm nervous
Evernham's
because
not.
I'm really nervous because he hit him pretty square right in the front when that driver was stopped on the wall. And these cars, they're finicky with their front suspension and they're finicky with the front end of the car.
Looks straight from here, but we won't be able to tell until he goes driving.
Right. The worst thing is they go down on power so easy. And if you're down on power on these short tracks, you're not able to get out of the corner.
We'll have to see. He's back in 5th. Pittman is. You got Powell there in 4th. Howard sitting in 3rd. Murphy in 2nd. Now it's a good battle between Howard and Murphy. And they just... Now, we don't see that often with these, but it can happen again. Being an open wheel, you've got those bars that they just lock together in the front. You saw Murphy kind of, front get locked in with that back bar that... You can't get a shot maybe of, you see where that bar is behind that right wheel. It looks like they just kind of got locked together, and luckily they were able to stay on the track.
Yes, sir. And right here, as we're going to have a little bit over 10 laps to go when we go green here. This restart is the most important one.
Been a good one. No Axiom, or he is loving it up front. He's been the hard charger here tonight, coming through the field up there. It's been exciting. Some guys have had some really good nights. Some have not so much. Have had to, come from the back to the front here. As you see, Kilroy and Quattro's unfortunately going to be back in 12th and 13th place spot. Pittman's been able to bounce back up front. But Howard and Powell, they've had some good nights tonight. Let's see if they can finish it off as green flag's about to fly. Here we go. Pace car, lights off.
Actually, I just now realized I chose this gender-neutral pace car for him tonight.
Yeah, I know.
I normally give us that that beautiful Chevy Silverado, but just kind of messed up tonight, I guess. But here we go. Green flag's about to fly.
Yes, it is, and it goes back green. You see Axiom gets a pretty good jump out front over Murphy this time. Howard and them all go single file. Howard is beating down the back end of Murphy. He wants that second place spot, but they all go single file. Let's go back behind them because Pittman's doing everything he can on the inside of Powell, trying to take that spot away.
They're trying to get everything they can right now, and man, so I know you can see it on your screen, Joe. We know Thomas has not pitted. We know Zach has not pitted correctly, but
Absolutely.
everybody on
Top
back.
two have not pitted.
Okay, so everybody on back, we're getting ready to see if them fresh rubber, if they're able to outpace these guys up front
And
on no
Howard
tires.
is the first one on new tires, and that's why we're seeing him up our pressure him so much. The problem is he got hooked up, and that little bit of slide earlier could have hurt those tires just enough. But he is the first one out there with the newer set of tires, and he's sitting there in the third place. Now, it's going to benefit him because it might send him on a podium finish here. Pittman is another one. Now, he had a 14-second pit stop his last one. I don't know if he put on tires prior to that, but he did have a 14-second. He's coming. He's wanting that third place back to maybe try to get back up here on the podium.
I mean, he don't have a whole lot of time, but he has a little bit of time. He's just going to get on the move if he wants to do it. These laps are
And
clicking
they go.
off fast.
Yeah, right behind him, you got a good battle between that's Raymond and Powell. Those two guys are battling out for 5th and 6th. Willie Evernham's moved it back up to 7th. He's utilizing his, I guess, the newer set of tires that he was actually went into the pit there. He's up to 7th. Casey's falling back. Sorensen up to 9th. Good run for him. Kilroy's been able to battle back. He is battling. That's for the 10th place spot. So that's 9th and 10th between Sorensen and Kilroy.
As we see Axiom here, he's able to just kind of walk away from Zach. He don't have a huge lead, but he's comfortable right now. And man,
Murphy
oh man,
and him both are running away from Howard. Howard right now is falling back to 1.5 second lead, or 1.5 seconds behind the leader. You see Pittman still trying to close that gap, and that's third place. Murphy is hanging about the same time. Last lap was a 17:16 to 17:29, so Axiom is definitely a little bit faster. You can tell it. Laps are winding down here. Getting close, 5 to go.
as we see
Everybody's
right
kind of
here,
spread out too good.
5 to go, presented by Band Racing Videos. So it's actually, yeah, they haven't done this all night. They haven't spread it out at all night.
No, and the battle's on here for around 9th or 10th. It's about the best battle. Oh, right there, you saw it. Casey actually made a mistake. Car kind of went up. That's going to he's going to lose 2 spots here, all the way back to 10th. Kilroy's going to get the 8th place spot here. Sorensen going to take over the 9th place. Casey's going to see if he can't battle it back and get that 9th place back here.
It's getting dicey towards the back. I mean, these guys, every spot they get, that's 1 extra point going towards our points total for the championship.
And we got 2 to go, so going to be one more time. He's going to take the white flag out of 3 and 4. Thomas Axiom came from the back to the front. He's going to have one more time around the track. White flag, won't matter what they do on the track. They can kill themselves out here. It won't be a caution. It's over. Murphy hangs on to 2nd. But Thomas Axiom, 2 more times. He can let it close in there now. And he's going to bring it home here tonight for the Crooked Line Racing Fire Kings Motorsports Tour Modifieds. Murphy comes home in 2nd. Howard brings it home in 3rd.
So Mr. Thomas Axiom, we're calling him Mr. Back-to-Back, I guess, because he won last week and he's brought it home here tonight at New Symrna.
Good finish here and a good race amongst all these guys here tonight, too. I just got your message there. I hear you.
Right. He's sitting here burning it down. Thomas Axiom is a good burnout for these cars because these cars they're hard to get rolling like that. I don't know if it's the gearing or what, but it's hard to get the smoke going like that. And we have our top 3, Thomas Axiom, Zach Murphy, and Jared Howard. Let's see if I can find Mr. Howard. You can pull it up here in the booth.
Yeah, absolutely. I put him up there in that league one last night. It worked out good.
I'm not seeing
Murphy.
him.
There's Murphy. We'll put him up there.
I got Murphy and then Axiom. Let me make an announcement real quick in iRacing.
That's fine.
Hold on 1 second. We'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and get Zach Murphy.
Okay.
Zach, this is Tanner Moore and Joe White in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
So I say it every week when I talk about you. You're on kill every single week, 110%. There was one point in this race where I heard Thomas holler something over iRacing saying back your corners or something like that. So was you trying to kind of play mind games with him, trying to force a mistake out of Thomas, or? Zach, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you. Sorry, somebody was talking on the other channel there. I think he was talking to Christian, but I was just trying to race my race, and I was getting a little hot, I could tell, and getting to their bumper. But Thomas is always fast, and I gave it in that I could at the end there. I just didn't have enough. I kept making mistakes, hitting the apron, and he just outclassed us tonight.
So he's won 4 races, Zach. I'm going to have to need my top guns from last season to come out here and prove that he's not come out here and win every race. All right.
Yeah, I'll do my best. I've been a little rusty. I haven't been racing like I used to be able to, but still fun to be able to get out here and be competitive.
I mean, a second place finishing behind Thomas Axum, that's never a bad night. So congratulations on the podium finish, Zach. Good to see you back. Hope to have you next week. But before we cut you loose, you got any sponsors or shout outs you want to throw out there?
I'll just thank all the guys over at Symrna, guys I race with each and every week. And thank you guys for putting this on for every week over at Crooked. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely, Zach. Thanks for coming out. We love having you, and we'll see you next week, brother.
All right, take care.
Good one right there. We got the third place man here, Howard.
Mr. Jared Howard bringing it home P3. This is Joe White and Tanner Martin, OSR Network's booth. You got a copy? Mr. Howard, your mic.
Yeah, I got you guys.
There we go. So, Jared, we saw you. You played a little pit strategy, if I do recall correctly, but you was pretty much a front runner all night. You never stepped too far out of the top 5. You had a really good, strong race, good race pace. Talk me through it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think I just used my tires up a little bit too early. After that yellow, I think lap 81 we came in. I cooked them the first 10 laps, and Thomas was on a rail. There was no catching him. But a lot of fun. Definitely look forward to coming back.
Awesome, buddy. I love hearing that because as long as y'all keep on coming back, we'll keep on putting them on, brother. And y'all did tonight was your first night with us, if I do recall. Is that right?
I tried Concord. Didn't go too well.
That's right. That's right. We signed up another driver from Tony Quattro's buddies. I got you. But still, third place, podium finishing here. The top of this field is so stacked and so competitive. So to come out here, run third, that's a great night. A good points night, even though you came in a little bit later, but you never know what could happen. Just keep on finishing strong, and you might find yourself within the top 5 in points. But good race tonight. Good job finishing third. Before I cut you out, you got any sponsors or shout you want to throw out there?
No, I'd just like to thank my buddy Nate. He changed the tires with a T-handle tonight. On top of the box too, doing it all. Just got to thank him.
There you go. It's people don't know this, but you can actually have a real spotter on iRacing, and yeah, the iRacing spotter is good, but it don't match a real spotter giving you all the information. So that's a shout out to him for coming over and doing that for you. That's a good friend, and great top 3 finish tonight, and we'll see you next week at Nashville Fairgrounds.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night.
You too, buddy.
Like you just said, there you go. Well, this guy here, though, once he got out front, he dominated. Thomas Axum joined the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you got out front. You was able to dominate. How was that car, and how was it like going through the field?
Oh, the car was really good. It had good turn and center, and that's what you needed to get through the field. Just took my time for the first 50 laps and just picked one by one, and all the cautions were in my favor whenever I got into a good position, and just stayed calm and watch real life tour modified drivers here. 125 laps is really a long time. It's not a short race, so you don't have to get it done in the first 75. You have an extra 50 after that. So I was just looking to be in the top 5 on lap 75, and we were able to achieve that and ended up here.
Absolutely. Like you said, once you got out front, you were definitely dominant there all night long. So, hey, good run, good finish here. Man, definitely racking up the wins for the season, getting some good points. How's that make you feel?
It's pretty fun. It's fun coming from the back and having these good battles. Like Zach Murphy, man, if he was up front at a track like this tonight, I would have had an issue passing him. It was just very hard to pass here. It's hard to get a better run than someone in front of you. You can get an equal run with them, but can't do much of that. Top was top was almost preferred, I'd say. But if you make the bottom work, you make it work. Just didn't have the bite it needed. But I was very happy with the car. Had very good center speed and didn't really push tight. If anything, had a little loose and made the racing a little bit better. Really able to side by side race and a little more give and take, and that would have been a little bit better. But a lot of green flag laps there, so that was impressive. And had a lot of fun with these guys tonight.
Absolutely. Came home tonight here for Crooked Line Racing 5 Kings Motorsports. On here in the Tour Modifieds. You got anybody you want to thank for a win here tonight, Thomas?
Yeah, shout out to you guys for putting this thing on. Love going back and just watching the races. Just thinking about what I should be watching. Tanner for all the behind the scenes work. The 5 Kings Motorsports crew, all them guys. All these guys in here. Great group of guys. Just a little more give and take. And this racing is going to be top notch. I mean, it's a good group of guys. And you just need to we'll feel each other out and just get some more laps in. More practice. The extra 30 minutes might even help a little bit. Just shout out to all these guys in here for keeping it pretty clean. There's no issues. It's a good group of guys. Then my sponsor, shout out to Peter Bernier's Liquors, and Studio 10's Wraps, grandparents and my parents.
There you go, folks. That's your winner tonight here. Thomas Action bringing it home in Victory Lane. Well, Tanner, I tell you, it was a good run, good race. Had a lot of good drama and action throughout here at this track. Got any final words on this one?
I'm glad it was a good race, you know. And like Thomas said, we do need to clean up the costumes a little bit. Still having a little bit more than what I would like to see, but a lot of that's just hard racing. I mean, we call it as it is in the booth. We don't sugarcoat anything up here, and if we feel like if somebody has done something wrong, we say it. But usually, whenever these costumes come out, we're pretty much say, "Hey, that's hard racing right there. I can get it." So that's a good thing coming from the serious standpoint, and I'm excited about heading to my home track next week, Nashville Fairgrounds. That's going to be a crazy one. That's a really fast track.
There you go. Well, folks, I tell you what, it was an awesome one here tonight. Tour Modifieds, that man Thomas Action bringing it home, putting it in Victory Lane. Well, for myself and everybody here at Crooked Line Racing, everyone, have a good night.